In August 2012, a wealthy real estate developer in Phoenix named Howard Burkett died at the age of 79. His death was ruled a heart attack. His family mourned. His estate was settled. But 3 years later, in 2015, his lawyer received an anonymous letter. The letter alleged that Howard had been poisoned by his wife and that his will had been forged. What followed was one of the most complex financial crime investigations in Arizona legal history. This is the case of the Burkett inheritance and the brother who would not stay silent. Howard Burkett had been married twice. His first marriage produced 2 sons, David and Stephen. His second marriage, to a woman named Deborah, had no children. Howard's original will, drafted in 2008, left the bulk of his estimated $12 million estate to his 2 sons equally. Deborah would receive the family home and a modest monthly stipend. Then, in 2011, Howard executed a new will. The new document dramatically favored Deborah. She would receive the majority of the estate. The sons would receive nothing beyond small bequests. David Burkett hired a handwriting expert. The expert examined the 2011 will. His conclusion: the signature was a forgery. Howard Burkett died on August 3, 2012. His death certificate listed the cause as myocardial infarction, a heart attack. No autopsy was performed. His body was cremated 3 days later. At the time, no one questioned the cause of death. But the anonymous letter to Howard's attorney changed everything. The letter included details that had never been made public: the specific method of poisoning, the timeline and the reason, the $12 million inheritance. Arizona Attorney General opened an investigation. In 2017, investigators exhumed Howard cremated remains. Forensic analysis detected traces of digoxin, a heart medication that, in high doses, can cause a heart attack indistinguishable from natural causes. Howard Burkett had been poisoned. The question now was, by whom? The state indicted Deborah Burkett on 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder and 1 count of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. The prosecution theory: Deborah had been having an affair. She wanted money, and she wanted freedom. She had access to Howard medications, she had forged the will, and she had killed him before the sons could challenge the document in court. The defense argued there was no direct evidence connecting Deborah to the poisoning. The digoxin could have been administered by anyone with access to Howard medications. The affair was unsubstantiated. The forgery, while real, did not prove murder. The trial lasted 8 weeks. Both sides called handwriting experts, forensic toxicologists, and medical specialists. The case turning point came from an unexpected source: a forensic accountant hired by David Burkett's civil attorney. The accountant uncovered financial transfers that Deborah had made in the months after Howard's death, transfers that matched almost exactly the amounts she would have received under the contested will. Hundreds of thousands of dollars moved through shell companies and personal accounts. More damaging, the accountant found emails between Deborah and her alleged lover, a handyman named Robert Vance, in which they discussed what to do about Howard as early as 2011. Robert Vance was granted immunity in exchange for testimony. He told the jury that Deborah had asked him to obtain digoxin from a veterinary clinic where he did occasional work. She told him it was for her dog, she said. After deliberating for 4 days, the jury found Deborah Burkett guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Robert Vance, the handyman who had provided the poison, was sentenced to 15 years for his role in the murder. David and Stephen Burkett, who had spent nearly a decade fighting for their father's legacy, were finally able to reclaim their inheritance, though the legal fees had consumed much of it. Howard Burkett was 79 years old when he died. He was a father, a businessman, and a man who deserved better than to be erased for $12 million. Case closed.